Good afternoon and welcome to our LinkedIn Live today. Today we are with Sean Corbett, who is Director of Mortgages at SYS Mortgages, who are part of the SYS Financial Group. So, Sean, yes, we have a webinar this evening. Tell everyone a little bit about yourself, first of all.
Afternoon. Good to be here again. Look, I've been in the industry, I guess, for over 30 years, concentrating on mortgages both in Ireland and the UK. I was in the UK, so I've seen it all. I've seen it all from switching to first-time buyers to crashes in 2008, and the whole shooting match. So yeah, look, I've been around the block, seen interest rates at 15.4, hence the importance of reviewing your mortgage on a regular basis.
Yeah, it's something that people call switchers. So we're going to be talking about that tomorrow. The webinar is tomorrow at 1 p.m. and there's one at 8 p.m. Is that right?
That's great. Yeah, we're trying in 1 o'clock tomorrow. I normally do webinars in the evening, but we said, look, we'd get the lunch brigade hopefully, and people don't have to wait till the evening. But we're actually doing two tomorrow, one at 1 and one at 8 o'clock in the evening. So hopefully it'll be a good time for everyone. One of those time slots.
So why should people consider switching their mortgage?
Well, look, it's probably even more relevant with recent events in Iran and what it's looking like will happen in the global market, i.e., with inflation. Normally, when you get rising inflation, then you get rates, i.e., rates that lenders lend to each other, the European Central Bank, and so on. The likelihood is there is going to be rate rises now this year. They're talking about 3 rate rises up to 0.75%. If you asked me back in January, I would have said that rates were going to remain steady for the whole of 2026. However, now with recent events, it's time to start reviewing, because if rates are going up and particularly people on variable rates, are coming off a fixed rate, it's vital for people to actually shop around and see what's out there now. So hopefully that's what we will go through the journey on the webinar tomorrow, and also talk to people about about maybe staying in your own home, extending, so switch and renovate or switch and extend. So some useful things people can do there, because again, shortage of properties in Ireland. A lot of people I'm finding now are staying put in their home and doing works on the property. So it's look, it should be very informative, and hopefully we get lots of people on there and ask lots of questions, because everybody learns from each other. But it's just the timing is perfect now to do a webinar on switching.
And you have a special guest as well.
We do. We have a solicitor from Jacob Law. They specialise in just doing what we call conveyancing. Conveyancing is when you're dealing with a lender and dealing with mortgages. So yeah, we will have a guest speaker on from there. Just because that's more of a questions and answers. Hopefully people will find it interesting. I'm going to be asking them a lot of questions, because a lot of people don't realize you need a solicitor when you're switching from one lender to another. So what are the costs involved in that, and so on, and they will be there as well if people on the webinar actually have any questions for them. So again, they're going to be on both sessions, i.e. the 1 o'clock and the 8 o'clock. So hopefully people will find that bit interesting.
Well, they will. I know they will, because last time I was on the webinar with you, oh my gosh, all the questions we got, it was really, really informative. I learned a lot, about mortgages as well. And, I just feel like in this current climate, I know that it's really important for people to get the right information. And I know, Sean, you are an expert in what you do, and you always have the answers to whatever questions. And even if you don't have the answer, you know someone else who will have the answer. And I love that about you, Sean. And I love the way you engage with the audience and stuff. So if anyone is interested in joining the webinar, I highly recommend it. So for people that are thinking of switching, do you feel that it puts them off the whole, oh, I have to get a solicitor, I have to do that? Like, how much hassle is it to switch?
Well, I'd be lying if I said there wasn't a little bit of hassle along the way. Things are getting easier. The rules have changed there recently, where your deeds from your existing lender have got to be sent out in a timely fashion, where that was holding up people before. You do have to do a little bit of heavy lifting by way of documents and things like that. And yes, there are costs involved. However, and an example, without giving too much away from tomorrow, there is examples out there over a 4-year period. You can save 10k by switching from a variable rate now to a good fixed rate. So look, it's I'll always say a couple of hours work and I'll pay you 10k. It's probably worth doing.
Yeah, and I know that you're great at guiding people as well, aren't you? So you do help people along the way,
We
don't
hold people's hand the whole way. And look, it may be that you're better off staying with your existing lender. We discussed that as well, because it's not always practical to move from the rates that you could be offered, but that's 15 minutes of your time to explore that,
you?
and be in a very good informed decision. So again, we'll be covering that off tomorrow as to how you do that, and what is the process, i.e. where do you start and where does it finish and how long does it take.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if anyone is interested, if you are watching and you're interested in just finding out a bit more about what it's like to switch your mortgage, come to the webinar. There's one at 1 p.m. tomorrow evening. There's one at 8 p.m. as well. So if you go into the comments section of this LinkedIn Live, you will see the links to register. So if you want to register, you'd be very welcome. And is there anything else that you're seeing in general, Sean, just in the whole market in general? What are you seeing with people? Is there fear there? Are people still buying? Are they still, getting mortgages?
Yeah, I'm amazed really. The first week of this conflict, when there was when there was worries about fuel and there was protests going on, I saw the market getting quiet for a week. Now it's gone bonkers again. And I'm amazed there are people out there finding properties, even though with the lack of properties out there, people are finding properties.
Mm.
The big thing, and I guess the frustration for me, is the way auctioneers are putting things on the market for a price. Nothing is going for that price anymore. Everything is going above the advertised price. I'll give you a good example. I had a guy there. The property was on the market for 295. In the Midlands, it went for 351. So 56k over the asking price that it was advertised for, and that I'm seeing that more and more out there. The great news is interest rates are still very good value. You've got rates starting at 3%, 3.1, that you can fix in for 4 years. So some money, those rates might sound expensive, but money is cheap to borrow at the moment. So people are trying to get in now while interest rates are steady. So yeah, I'm finding the market very, very buoyant, because it's a thing in Ireland. Everybody loves to buy their own home, and everybody wants their own home.
Yeah, well done. Look, I mean, I know you're there, you're at the front line, and you're hearing all the stories from people. So really looking forward to the webinar, because I know that you'll be filling us in on all the best ways to go about switching your mortgage, and looking forward to hearing what our solicitor guest is going to say as well. If anyone wants to get in touch with Sean, if you just email Sean at sysmortgages.ie, it's below here on the ticker. And Sean, anything else you want to add before we...
No, that's it. Look, I'd love to as many people we like to help as many people as possible. The great news is we don't charge. So although there are fees involved in switching your mortgage, we don't charge anything anywhere in the process, and we're there and we hold your hand the whole way through the process. And we can recommend solicitors with fixed fees and things like that as well. So look, it'd be great to have as many people on as possible to really guide you through the process. It'd be an hour well spent.
Excellent. Okay, I look forward to it. Thank you, Sean.